That we come at the stage where doctors today have given up, where today's medicine and technology is not sufficient to keep you going, but we're saying instead of just disposing of the patient, give them to us, we're going to stabilize them, stop them getting worse, and hold them for as long as it takes for technology to catch up and allow them to come back to life and continue living.
The only group that you really see getting excited about the possibility are people who are sort of people who specialize in studying the distant future, or people who have a stake in wanting you to pay the money to do it. I don't really see any mainstream brain scientists, physiologists, people from psychiatry who study the mind. They're not lining up saying, I think this is a sound idea. Moreover, I don't think any of them do it.
The first stage of the procedure, we have to wait until the patient's been declared legally dead. We then move the patient from the bed into this ice bath, and we're going to cover them in ice and add some water. Also, we don't have that here, but we're going to use this device called the squid to circulate icy water around the patient. That accelerates the cooling, external cooling. At the same time, we're going to apply a mechanical CPR device. It's much more efficient and less tiring than manual CPR, and a respirator. And you might think that's kind of peculiar given the person's been declared legally dead, but there's two main reasons for that. First of all, we have to circulate blood around the patient, otherwise the heat won't get moved around, and we want to get heat out of the brain especially, so we have to circulate that around. And also we're going to give a series of medications to protect the cells against damage. So we're going to stop the patient from returning to consciousness, number one. We're going to stop the blood from clotting. We're going to keep the blood pressure up. All these things we have to do to maintain viability, much as you do when you're donating organs. Just because the person's declared legally dead doesn't mean the body itself is dead. Almost all of it is still alive.
So at the end of the day, I think this notion of freezing ourselves into the future is pretty science fiction, and it's naive. It's almost like what you'd be thinking about in a college dormitory discussion. If I could just freeze myself and then defrost myself, kind of like a bag of peas, and wind up way in the future, wouldn't that be cool? Sounds okay, but then you realize how much we are products of our own time.
And these are some of the lives we've tried to preserve. The one in the middle is by far our youngest patient, not quite 3 years old, a little girl from Thailand who had brain cancer. Both her parents were doctors, and she had multiple brain surgeries, and nothing worked, unfortunately. So they contacted us. Because they were actually medical professionals, they actually set up an operating room in Thailand, and we could send a team out there and do the procedure we'd normally do locally.
Our dog, Oscar, here he is, right here. Sorry, here's a picture of him. He was almost 15 years old when he became ill, and he was suspended, put in cryonics. I think that in the future, the people who opted in for human cryopreservation or human cryonics preservation will most likely have family members and or friends who have also signed up for cryonics. And then it's just a waiting period. It's like, you know, you're in flight, you're in transport to your destination, and the destination would be the future, where a person who had a cancer or ALS or some other type of injury or disease is revived, the disease or injury cured or fixed, and the person is has a new body cloned or a whole body prosthetic, or their body reanimated, and meet up with their friends again.